starting from ground zero, 2026 and beyond. Here we go. Hey y'all. When I say we're starting from ground zero, we are starting from ground zero. I completely shedded everything. Everything I thought my life was supposed to be. Everything I thought I was supposed to be. See, the big thing that came over me was that I had been living a life of discipline and success and just this life built on self-sacrifice. And it was no wonder that my nervous system was never regulated. It was no wonder why there was this internal anxiety. No matter what I did, I still lacked fulfillment. It was no wonder. Because I had been living a life based on survival. I have been on this journey and this healing journey, discovery journey of finding self on a whole nother level. And I think when we start to go on this journey, we start to recognize how much we mask, how much we have created a version of ourselves that we felt like we had to become in order to be loved and accepted. And I can't do it anymore. No. So I had to shed. I had to shed relationships that were only valuable for that type of person that I was. I had to shed how I was as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. I had to shed an identity of self. I had to shed so much. And 2026 feels like this huge energy shift. And although it is very exciting and it feels brand new, it feels fresh, there is a big part of my heart that is grieving and accepting all of what was. Because in that process of transitioning, we're still human. When we have these feelings and we go through the motions of life, especially big transitions such as identity shifts and, deciding to pivot and walk on faith into this next journey, and to give up everything you ever knew and everything that you have created for yourself and leave that on faith. But good spiritual hygiene is not suppressing it. And I think a lot of my life I suppressed a lot because I mistaken endurance for strength. You can endure and be resilient, that's great, but avoiding during that process is unhealthy. It's unhealthy and it doesn't solve anything. Like, it's temporary Band-Aid. And I no longer wanted to Band-Aid my heart anymore, my emotions, who I truly am. I no longer wanted to be a version of myself that I knew that I have grown past. And yes, it comes with disappointing people. It comes with a heavy grief because a part of disappointing people is recognizing that there are just things and people that cannot come with you in this next phase of life. And for me, awareness comes to me. I have a gift of knowing. It all comes to me and I know these things. But what has been hard for me is to truly accept and adapt fully. And so I feel led to build from a new stable foundation out loud. I've always found purpose in my callings and my assignments, but something always distracted me. And we have to get rid of those distractions. We know what is no longer able to sustain us here in the season that you're in and where God is taking you. And that's what I've learned. I genuinely have a desire to help and to make impact and just be a vessel in this world. But I realize I can't do that anymore at the cost of myself. I don't believe that God asks us to walk in our gifts and walk in our calling and walk in our assignments out of depletion, out of survival. So I'm in the middle of a pivot, energetically, spiritually, and it's reflecting on the outside. When I mean starting from ground zero, I mean you have to go back to the basics. And I just realized that I cannot build and work towards building something that is going to truly leave an impact in this world and the people that it comes across and it changes their lives. I can't do that based on survival. This month already, we're 15 days in already. I'm going back to the basics, finding my rhythm in my life. And I have people waiting for me to kind of like show up of what I have to offer, but I'm not in a rush because I don't want to rush in and repeat the same cycle that I learned from. And where I'm sitting at right now is just, I'm leaning heavily on faith in this pivot, in this transition. Like it's not easy, but I will say that the more that you recognize that the foundation is you, if you ain't good, your business ain't good. If you ain't good, your relationships ain't gonna be good. Like, we are truly the foundation of everything that stems from us. I had to look back at like all the ways that I was self-sacrificing. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to live a life that sacrifices my nervous system. I've worked too hard up until this point to get to a place of peace, to get to a place of just finding joy and just slowing down and living a softer life. Like, we talk about soft life, but are we really living our soft life? Is our inner world feeling that? Because we say it often, but are we really feeling it deep down inside? And I recognized that the life that I was trying to take with me wasn't going to do that for me. And me and my husband were having a conversation, and I was just talking to him like, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing this next. Like, you know, I just have to trust myself and be consistent, whatever. And he was like, we got to be consistent with ourselves first. How can we expect to have the capacity to be consistent in all these other areas and you can't even be consistent with yourself and showing up for yourself and doing for yourself and creating rhythm and consistency with taking care of you? Spiritual hygiene, mental health, like all of these things play a role, and they're important because they all come together. I've been taking this month so far and I've just slowed all the way down. I'm being more present with my husband, with my kids, with myself. I made a goal to read a book a month, and I've already read my first book of the year. And I'm heading on to my second book, and I am making sure that I am walking on my walking pad every day because it's hard for me to get to the gym. I have 2 kids now, and you know, it's hard out here, okay? It's hard out here, but I am not making excuses anymore because I have made it happen for everybody else. I have overfunctioned and overworked and overdid for everyone else. But when it comes to me, I always got an excuse. And I've just been saying that I'm gonna do this for a while, but For the first time, I feel like my nervous system and my body believes the season that we're in and what we're walking into, and my life is reflecting that. I just want to remain still. Like, I'm a big seasonal person, but I haven't always walked in those seasons. When I knew I should have been still, I still kept going out of fear. I still kept going out of survival mode. But no longer. Like, I am rebuilding my life on a stable, grounded foundation. And like I said, I'm gonna live it out loud. So this is the first video of the year, and I'm excited to share this journey finally and do it unapologetically, do it vulnerably, and do it imperfect. I've released the external validation that had a hold on me. I've released this idea of shrinking myself in order to be palatable. I've released a lot of different things. And so now it's time for me to just walk in it. I've taken a lot of time to process. You can only process for so long before your mind, you just get paralyzed in your mind. And I'm like, I gotta get out of this. I gotta go. If you're in the middle of a pivot, allow yourself to transition fully. And with transition, there is moments where you may have to pause and regroup and recalibrate. Allow that time to happen, because we don't want to repeat old cycles in new beginnings. We don't want to take what we have learned this far and not use those tools to better moving forward and to be better moving forward. And so if you're sitting in that middle of the transition and in the pivot with me, be still and know God is God. Take care of your mind. Take care of your heart. Take care of your soul. Take care of you. I gotta take care of me in order to make an impact on the world. Because I want to do it from a truly authentic, healthy place that can be able to carry this vision that God has so trusted me with. And I don't take it lightly. Also, in a world that tells you that you've got to constantly hustle, that you got to work your ass off, that you have to get up and get at it or you won't be successful. I don't care anymore. I don't want success. I don't want all the money. I don't want any of that stuff if I don't have God, myself, good inner world, and most importantly, my family, the things that matter in life. And I know I can have it all, but I'm not going to sacrifice myself to get there. I'm not. I'm going to do it in a way that I feel called to, and it'll be a living testament for a way that people can live fully in a way that you can have the love, you can have the career, you can have the relationships, but I'm not afraid to say that I have to start over again. I had to start over again. And I'm not gonna do it perfectly, but I'm gonna do it differently. I'm just really excited to see what's to unfold along this journey. And if you're coming along this journey with me, buckle in, because it's gonna be a ride. Tell me in the comment sections if you can relate to anything in this video, and share something that resonated with you. Let's further the conversations in the comment section. Make sure y'all follow me on my social media. I will link everything below. But that's it for this video. I'm not gonna ramble any longer. I got to go to bed. So I will see y'all in the next video.